And the Oscar goes to... Pedro!
What about my mother?
And the Oscar goes to Javier Bardem in No Country for Old Men.
The Oscar goes to Penelope Cruz.
For as long as cinema and television have been around, the common outlook on entertainment always seems to come back to the glitz and glare of the Hollywood American landscapes. Even with a variety of international films making waves throughout the Oscars and different film festivals, foreign countries are somewhat undervalued and overlooked from a production perspective. But as we glance at the European entertainment market, Spain continues to have a profound effect inside and outside of its borders. Spain's rich history, varied regions, and vibrant culture are all vividly reflected in its film and television landscape. From Luis Buñuel's groundbreaking films to Pedro Almodóvar's worldwide fame, Spanish cinema has consistently explored issues of identity, tradition, and social change while pushing artistic boundaries. By documenting Spanish cinema and television's global history, I was able to analyze the current and past condition of the Spanish film industry and hopefully create a portrait of one of Spain's most essential cultural elements. Before heading into the contemporary times of film and television within Spain, it is essential to acknowledge the years of development and artistic expression that has flowed through Spanish history. The emergence of Spanish cinema and television began in the 20th century, marked by the grandfather of Spanish film, Luis Buñuel. With films such as The Andalusian Dog, Viridiana, and The Young and Damned, Buñuel started a century of international recognition from European and American filmmakers. And luckily enough, I was actually able to interview my film professor at NYU Madrid, Carlos Vela, about the state of the cinema and television industry in Spain after Franco. Here's what he said.
And the Spanish cinema in the 90s got to a new diversity. I mean, people were not only dealing with history, etc., or with the freedom of the body, etc., which were very important before, but now any genre, any way of filming was accepted, and in that moment it is the origin of the variety of films that we have nowadays. And lately, of course, we have had the last change, which is the inclusion of women in the Spanish industry.
But outside of Buñuel, Spanish filmmakers found it difficult to gain international recognition. And with the rise in the Franco regime, artists and filmmakers were held down with strict restrictions from the dictatorial rule that censored the creativity that was once blooming inside Spanish borders. Documented through Miguel Angel Ruiz Carnicer's written piece, Spanish Universities Under Franco, the author details the lack of creativity and expression that young students and adults suffered under strict regime rule. The Spanish university system became a faithful agent of the new system's essential purpose, the consolidation of the social order existing before the Republic and the war, which included a focus on politics and financial classes, excluding those creative outlets. Seen as rebellious, young filmmakers under Franco were forced to abandon or conceal their craft, with many of Luis Buñuel's films banned for their democratic themes and opposition to the regime. However, the transition to democracy in the late 1970s marked a turning point, leading to a renaissance in Spanish cinema, highlighted by the rise of artists like Pedro Almodóvar, who explored bold and diverse narratives. With profound works from Almodóvar and upcoming actors and actresses in Spanish cities, Spain began to creep into the international landscape and secure studio and streaming deals in the process. Moving into the modern condition of the Spanish film industry, the country's exceptional investments into filmmaking have made serious waves within streaming platforms and have been received by not only Spanish audiences, but international ones as well. Films like Spanish Affair, Woman on the Verge of a Nervous Breakdown, and Pain and Glory were well received by international crowds and led to the stardom of many Spanish actors including Javier Bardem, Penelope Cruz, and Antonio Banderas. Madrid, which is sometimes referred to as the capital of Spanish film and television production, has emerged as a crucial destination for both local and foreign producers and is the heart of many films in Pedro Almodóvar's catalog. And from a financial perspective, the Spanish government has targeted the film industry as a proponent of growth, creating a government campaign to boost its marketability. Published by The Hollywood Reporter, Spain created Spain, Where Talent Ignites, a campaign used to associate the Spanish audiovisual industry with talent, creativity, expertise, professionalism, and excellence. But not only has the cinematic scene undergone tremendous growth, but the television landscape has also made serious efforts in improving their production. According to the book Spanish Lessons, Cinema and Television in Contemporary Spain, at the start of the rise of TV content, viewers within Madrid and big cities seemed to largely consume telenovelas from Latin America rather than high-budget and drama shows produced within Spain. In addition to this, the 2008 recession had a profound effect on Spain's economic and governmental systems, forcing Spain to focus on cultural production to bounce back. España Global, a concept repeatedly highlighted by author Joanne Britlin, was the main proponent in revitalizing the Spanish image through streaming services. Movistar Plus and Netflix were at the forefront, as studios began saving Spanish projects through purchasing rights and investing in Spanish cable and streaming series. Big productions such as Money Heist, Elite, and Hispania all originated with Spanish filmmakers and crews. Instead of continuing to stay domestic and only accessing American content, Netflix has presented Spain through an international lens, changing the world's perception on their capabilities. Furthermore, as series in Catalan, Basque, and Galician become more well-known, the industry's development has helped to foster a wider understanding of Spain's regional cultures. Whether it be in film or TV, Spain's continued diverse viewpoints adds to their national image and brings in more investors and interest.